Okay, so good day everyone. Today we'll be speaking on personal financial planning. The average person cannot tell you what interest their savings account is earning, and by understanding your personal finances, you will be able to get ahead of all that and more. So what is personal finances? Your personal finances is basically the spending, saving or investing of the money that you earn. Whatever medium you use to earn your money, your personal finances cover how you spend it, how you invest it, and how you save it. In order to get ahead of your personal finances, it's best for you to set personal financial goals. So, for instance, you're in high school right now, and after school, you want to probably go to college and finish and get a higher education, or perhaps you want to buy your first car, or you want to invest in a home. Well, that is basically financial goals. And by getting ahead of your personal finances, it takes you one step closer to your financial goals. Benefits of personal financial planning include you have more disposable income that will help you to achieve your goals. It also lessen your chances of heading into bad debt, meaning debt that you are unable to handle, or it also puts you in a better position where you are able to help yourself and help your family. So there are 6 main steps of planning your personal finances. First and most important step is determine your current financial situation. So step one, which is determining your current financial situation, is basically doing an evaluation of how the money you have now is allotted. So first you evaluate your savings. How much money do you have in your savings? Next, you will do an income evaluation as well. So after tax, what is your net income? So your net income is what you take home, your take home pay, right? You also assess your debt, like how much money do you hold currently, and last but not least, you will evaluate your expenses. So what is your monthly expenses? How much money do you spend from your savings or from your income? Okay, so that is step one. Step two is develop your financial goal. So for instance, right now you're working, right? And what is something that you want to achieve financially? So that is what you'll do for step two. So determine a financial goal that you'd like to achieve. So perhaps you're working and you're earning and you're living comfortably, and you say, all right, I think it's time now for me to get my first car. That would be your personal financial goal. That would be a financial goal that you'll set for yourself and then you work towards. Okay. Step three is to identify alternative courses of action. What this means is, what are some of the actions that you can take in order to achieve your personal financial goal? These include, like, say for instance, you're saving $50 right now. So every month at of every paycheck that you earn, you save $50. So that would be one alternative. Another alternative could be, all right, in order for me to get this amount of money, I I could invest, instead of saving, I could invest $100 monthly. Okay, that would be another alternative. And that is basically how you'd evaluate or identify the alternative courses of action. You'll By identifying what your goal is, you would actually see how are you'll be able to achieve your goal. What actions can you take right now to achieve your goals? So you could stick to your current savings plan, or you could increase it. Instead of saving, you could also invest or things and of that nature. So step four is to evaluate your alternatives. What that means is, after you identified the courses of action that you're able to take, you will evaluate them. What is the best option here, or what are the best options here that I can take in order to achieve my personal financial goal? Once you evaluate your alternatives, you will check up to date sources of information, right? So, for instance, you're saying, instead of savings, I would like to invest. You check up to date sources of information to find out what is the latest interest rate and this particular type of investment. Or, say, for instance, you're continuing to save, you'd evaluate what is the highest interest rate that I can earn on my savings. So, that is what you do to evaluate your alternative to actually choose the best course of action that would lead to your personal financial goal. So step five is, after you evaluate your alternatives, you create and use a financial plan of action. What that means is, say for instance, you've determined that you will be investing instead of saving. So what your plan of action would be, each time I receive my paycheck and I have my net income in hand, what I do is I would allot a section of my paycheck to my investments. So that would be your financial plan of action. So every month, once you get a paycheck, or every week, depends on how you get paid, or how your income comes in, you would actually work towards your goal by the alternative that you've selected. And the last and final step of planning your first personal finances is review and revise your plan. We know that if, for instance, our goal is to buy a car and we are planning to save, interest rates and stuff like that changes over a period of time. So once we have a course of action or a plan of action, we planning our personal finances does not actually ends there. We have to stay up to date, and we can revise and review them. So for instance, right now a savings account is earning more than a investment than your current investment account. Then instead of investing, you could choose to save at this current and at this particular time. So that is what step 6 is all about. Revise and review your current plan of action so that you are able to stick and select the best alternatives in order to achieve your personal financial goal. So that is what today's video is basically on. How do you get ahead of your personal finances? So basically, these 6 steps can be further explained, but in a follow-up video, I will be breaking down each of these one by one to give you a more vivid and a more clear understanding of the process of planning your personal finances. That is it for today. Have yourself a wonderful time.